back to the channel. It's been a while. Got something a little different today. Got my first RC boat. And I was never a big boat guy. They always kind of seemed boring to me. Like just kind of like driving a car in an open parking lot. You're just going back and forth, no real terrain or obstacles and stuff. But this thing's a whole different animal. A lot of fun. I'm gonna have some short running video for you guys today, and then more importantly, I'm going to tell you what broke and what didn't break, and maybe what's going to need some attention going forward to make this thing really a bit more of a basher like they claim it's supposed to be. Super happy with it so far. A lot of fun in the right environment. I think, you know, if all you have is a big like lake or a pond with flat water, it's still going to be fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun if you build a little ramp for it that floats in the water. But really what I am excited to do with this thing is to take it out into some really like fast flowing streams and creeks with a lot of obstacles, like little chutes between boulders and little waterfalls and some little flat rocks to kind of, you know, jump the boat over. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I have the exact perfect spot for this boat. It's just about a 40-minute drive away, so I don't know how quick I'm going to get there. It's kind of getting near the season, you know, mid-October, where it's going to be a little kind of dicey to get out in the water and run this thing. So just on the off chance that this thing does lose power or flip over, I flipped this thing on its lid. You'll see in the running video, I hit a little log that's in the water and flip it completely on its lid, and I wasn't prepared to go in the water. Luckily I was wearing shorts, had to take my sneakers off and wade into the stream to retrieve this thing. So that is the thing, if you're going to be running this in streams, rivers, creeks where there's a lot of obstacles, you got to be prepared to get into the water to retrieve it, or have some kind of setup to get out there and get the boat back. Or you at least want to be downstream of where the boat is, so maybe you stand a chance of it floating back to you. But a lot of fun. Check out the running video now, and then I will go over what I found with this. I have about 10 packs run through it so far, and I'll show you what broke on mine. I'll show you I had a couple issues right out of the box. My buddy Matt, who's in the video as well, he had a few issues, similar issues with his, so go over those real quick, and I want to show you a couple fixes that I found already that I think is going to make this thing a little bit more of a solid, reliable basher boat. You know, you kind of lose some of the adjustments on it, but I honestly don't really even care. I just want this thing to kind of handle as well as it does now, but be able to take some more hits and you know, be able to get through the rocks and roots and logs and stuff a little bit easier without any damage. So check out this running video, and I'll be back at the end of it to go over a quick review of what I found with this thing. Oh shit. Uh-oh. Oh, sorry, dude. Damn, that was cool. Really going in. Okay, so hopefully you liked that video. Just basic stuff. I didn't really set out to film anything. I wasn't set up. I didn't have my camera attachment for my controller, so it was really kind of some of the footage has no sound. It was my buddy Matt had to send it to me, and the way I saved it just had no sound. But anyway, definitely going to get some much better running video. I got the perfect spot for this thing in the future, so stay tuned, subscribe if you want to see that. But let's go over real quick the issues I found. First of all, a very basic thing, you tend to want to pick this boat up from the front here when it's in the water, and this light mount here is a little bit fragile. On this side here, it kind of came loose. I feel like it's kind of just glued in there from the factory. This will pivot, which is nice. It kind of, you know, could absorb some hits if you flip over or whatever, but just be careful. I had to re-glue my one mount on the one side here. Just kind of find a different spot to lift the boat up from, either there or the side of the hole here, and shouldn't be an issue. The lights are very cool though. They're nice and bright and they look awesome running it. Next thing, let's go straight into the bottom here. Not too much damage on my hull here. Definitely this bash plate is doing its job. I kind of wish these little side pieces here went up further, because I am already getting some little bit of scrapes and scratches and dings up on this front section, which is not replaceable. Pretty much from here forward is all part of the hull of the boat. So from here back, you can replace these. But not bad so far. I got a little dinger here on this little mount if you were to hook it up to a trailer. I think I kind of drove into a rock with that, not paying attention. One thing I will say, when you first get this, even if you are a boat guy, I feel like, and I don't know too much about boats, so if I'm saying things, you know, out of school here, you know, leave a comment below and correct me. But on a normal boat, you're gonna have a rudder that's in the water the whole time. So even if you let off the throttle and you're coasting, you could still steer. With this, not so much. The second you're off the power, you have zero steering. It doesn't do anything. You could steer and, you know, it turns, but it's not gonna steer you at all. So you gotta get into the mindset of, if you're going at a pretty good speed toward a rock or anything that you don't wanna hit, and you are trying to turn, it's almost like counterintuitive, but you have to turn and hit the gas in order to really carve a turn. And this thing turns on a dime. It's amazing how well this thing turns, but you gotta get it in your head that the throttle is almost your salvation. If you're heading towards something that you're about to hit, you gotta throttle and turn. You gotta throttle out of anything. I mean, you can hit the, drop the bucket here and hit reverse. But again, it's not your first instinct. It's kind of a little bit of a delay in your thought process if you're not used to driving this. So I would say, if you get one of these, take it somewhere much easier and more open to learn the control on this thing before you start heading into streams and stuff with rocks and obstacles that you could possibly smash into and damage the boat. So anyway, this is all holding up pretty well. The trim tabs in the back, these were my main issue. And I don't know if you could see, I'm gonna cut in some close-up footage here, but you could see I took a chunk out of this one. I almost immediately first run in bent the turnbuckle for one of these. I think I kind of pivoted around into a rock. You could probably even see it happen in the running video. Pivoted around into a rock and slammed into it sideways, and I think I took this chunk out and bent one of the turnbuckles. So what I came up with is making these out of Kydex, a little plastic Kydex piece. and I kind of made it into a spiral, so it actually has some flex to it. And I measured out, it's 55 millimeters is what you want for the length of the stock turnbuckle, just to keep these things sort of even across the bottom. But now this thing has a good amount of flex in it. It's very sturdy. It's firm enough where it's not going to move just from the water or anything else. But if you hit something, it definitely got some nice flex in it. So I'm going to continue running this. I don't really feel the need to start adjusting trim tabs and stuff. I don't even know 100%. I mean, I guess it's going to change the angle at which the boat rides at. And if they're up more, I think it's going to make it a little more maneuverable and kind of wheelie happy, which might be cool, but I could play around with that in the future and maybe make a few different lengths if I want to have different setup options. But I want this to be kind of more bomb-proof than it is. I'll cut in a couple other close-ups here. I also broke the little pivot, the little mount where this thing pivots. One popped off on me, and they're just glued into the hull, so I just re-glued it, and it's been fine. I've run it since then. It's been fine.
So this inner lower mounting tab cracked off, but it looks like they are glued on from the factory. There's just like a little recess. Let me see if I can show it to you a little better here. It's like a little recessed area in there, and it looks like they're just glued in. They're not actually molded to this part of the transom. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a boat guy. I don't know what that's called. I think it's called the transom. Not sure. But yeah, I'm just going to glue that back on.
The other issue right out of the box, this bucket, where it clips on. So it just kind of clips onto two little posts on the jet nozzle. And mine fit like super sloppy. And you could see like just the angle of this, the mount on the side of this bucket was just not, it wasn't molded right. It was a bad mold. So I just did like the cheap and easy thing. I took a little micro torch. I kind of held it to the side, took a micro torch, heated up the plastic and bent it in and let it cool off. And now it fits perfect, no issue. My buddy Matt's right out of the box had a crack in it, right in this area on the bottom. It was just like split down the middle. So he was able to glue it and pinch it together, and his has been fine as well. But I think it's just some early quality control issues with these things. So keep an eye on yours when you take it out of the box. Take a good look at this and see how well it fits. If it comes off easily, like you should be able to really like kind of maneuver this thing around without it popping off, because as soon as you drop it into the water, there's a lot of force on this that's going to try to kind of pop it off. So that was an issue. Other than that, it ran pretty well. I am getting, I noticed the last time I ran it, I was getting an issue where if I hold the throttle steady, it was almost cutting out for like a split second here and there. And I have a feeling it may have been an issue with my batteries. I wasn't running any great batteries in this, just some older 3S and 4S. Most of the running video is going to be on 4S. I did in a tighter stream, Little Creek area where I go into the tunnel, that's on 3S. But I noticed that it was cutting off, and I think my battery was getting pretty hot. The ESC and the motor stayed nice and cool, no issues. The battery was definitely getting pretty hot. So there's something going on. I don't know. I'm going to try a better, like a higher C rating battery and see if that helps, because it seemed like if I just kind of let it sit for a few minutes and cool down, then it was fine for a little while. So, but everything else was cool. So the only thing that was kind of getting hot was the battery. So I'm wondering if that was the issue with this. So I'm going to try it with better batteries and see. Hopefully it's nothing with the ESC. I also want to double check the receiver, make sure it's staying dry in there. It was getting a decent amount of water in, but I think it was just how I was driving. You know, we were driving in some pretty high flowing water, and anytime you kind of get this boat facing backwards upstream, you will get a little bit of run over onto the back here. So I was getting a little water in there. It never really affected anything, but you know, not a huge deal. You got the drain plug back here, you can drain it out. And every now and then while you're using it, just pick it up and hold it upside down and let the water drain out. Not a big deal. Yeah, anyway, a lot of fun. Definitely stay tuned if you want to see more video of this. Like I said, hopefully I can get out for a couple more runs this season. But definitely in the spring, I do a lot of stand-up paddleboarding. I know some great spots where I'm going to bring this with me on my paddleboard and run it, and it should be a lot of fun. But definitely this fall, I got a spot for this thing that's going to be great. So stay tuned if you want to see that. And yeah, any other modifications I do, I'll try to do like a video that kind of explains it a little bit better, how to make the trim tabs, you know, flexible like this, how to make like a little plastic turnbuckle.
Here's my flexible Kydex turnbuckle. I think this is gonna work great. It adds a good amount of give. It's really firm. You got to press on it pretty hard, but I think a big impact, that thing's gonna kind of move out of the way rather than break.
And yeah, I mean, if you guys want to see like a more detailed video on how I made this turnbuckle out of Kydex, drop a comment down below. If I get enough people interested, I'll do a short video because it's super easy. Kydex sheets, you can get 12 by 12 Kydex sheets off of Amazon. I think like 12 or 14 bucks for 3 sheets that are huge, and you need tiny little pieces to make this stuff. So, and then like a heat gun or some way to heat it up, really easy. So if you want to see a video on that, definitely drop me a comment below, and I'll do that soon. So yeah, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and catch you on the next one. Later.